Very good morning. Let's try that again. I had a bit of a power cut. You're watching Chris on Real Talk on Monday, the 8th of March, 2021. Very good morning. So there we go. That was entirely my fault. Plus I had an incoming phone call. So for the second time, says Charlie Wells. Yeah. What happened there was I knocked the power socket with my foot. That shouldn't have turned it off, but the whole computer just died, and then I had an incoming call. So that's what's happening there. So hello again, hello again, hello again, hello again. So we pick up from where we left off. So children are going back to school today. Primary schools across the UK are going back. And there's Sam, Stephen, what's going on? And there's going to be a staggered delay or staggered restart for secondary school pupils, along with 3 different tests. It's really bright. This new light, there we go. So yeah, like Transport Hub starts at 10 o'clock. My eldest boy has to go in for a COVID test, a lateral flow test on Wednesday at 2:15. But he has to go in full uniform, have his test, then come home, and then he's going back in on Thursday. I believe it's a full day, and then have another test on Friday. But it's 3 different tests and one I have to do at home. But my concern here is Sergeant Major Patrick Harper. No, you're not my concern. I just felt like saying that because it's been a while. It's been a while, Sergeant Major Patrick Harper. Is parents haven't been given, not parents, teachers haven't been given mandatory vaccines, and I think that's not really on. Victoria Gray, good morning. And the reason why I think that's a bit of a pee take is because I know children don't suffer anywhere near as much as adults do with COVID, but children still get COVID. And it's a case of parents could get COVID from going to work, going to the shops, what have you, be asymptomatic, give it to their children, be asymptomatic. Children then go into school asymptomatic, pass it to every other child and the teacher, and then it could get ugly. So that's what's happening there. However, I am quietly optimistic that things hopefully will go smoothly. My son's school is very good on the social distancing and hygiene. So I just have to have a bit of faith in the system. And I think that's what we all need to try and do, is have a bit of faith on top of having an immense amount of common sense. We know that there's going to be a lockdown until at least June 12th, I believe. I could have my dates wrong on that. But we need to be very careful. Just because we've had over 20 million people vaccinated doesn't mean we can start lowering our guard. You know, just because people are getting the vaccine doesn't mean we can, just do normal things. There are still restrictions. We are still in lockdown, and the more people get sloppy, the worse it's going to get. And the reason why I'm saying this is thanks to Rishi Sunak, our Chancellor of the Exchequer. So thank you very much for the 13 concurrent viewers that are watching me this morning on a Monday. I know you've got other better things to do, and you're listening to my dulcet tones, and I really, really appreciate that. But the reason why I'm saying Rishi Sunak is, so far, every time Rishi Sunak has increased furlough, there's been a restriction, extension, or another lockdown. And that's sent my alarm bell. That pricked my ears up. That's made my alarm bells go. It's almost like they're expecting something to happen. And again, there are people out there that are going to argue, well, we need to come out of lockdown. People are getting vaccinated. Furlough's just a precaution to keep people in jobs while the economy reopens. And I understand that. I get it. The problem I have is that as restrictions are eased off, step by step, stage by stage, tier by tier, until there is no lockdown, I fear people are going to take the mick. We've all heard of the expression, give an inch and take a mile. And that's exactly the same as what's happening here, is because people are having more and more and more jabs, people are taking the mick. And I see this on a daily basis when I go around the park with the dog. for example. There's groups and groups and groups of people having picnics, doing things they shouldn't be doing, not social distancing. And what really gets my biscuit is the fact that over the park, ice cream vans are there. Now, that isn't essential. Buying ice cream is not essential. It's actually encouraging people to go out and break rules. And I've tried to have a conversation with Bromley Council about this, but as usual, Bromley never reply to my emails and they tend to bury their head in the sand. So that's what's happening there. So if anyone in great power ever sees this video, please know that I try. I do. I try, not just for myself, but for my fellow man and woman and carrot. That's what's happening there. But give people an inch, they generally will take a mile. And this is what we need to be careful of, because even though people are getting vaccinated, all it takes is one variant. And this is what people don't understand. Viruses mutate. They mutate because they want to reproduce and live. And it's not in their benefit to kill the host. So every time a virus mutates, it adapts itself to the conditions of the host, you see. And the more it mutates, the more possibly less deadly it could be. But is it worth taking that chance? Sooner or later, it will get to a point where the virus is going to mutate to a point where vaccines could be ineffective. And the best way to prevent that from happening is to, at this point, at this stage in the game, all of us, please, to do the best we can with staying home, social distancing if we have to go out. Don't make unnecessary trips. If you're furloughed like myself, I know the money's crap. I'm there. I'm living what you're living. But we make the most of it. It's short-term pain for a long-term gain. And I know people are sick of lockdown. I personally am sick of lockdowns. This should never have happened. If people have done as they was told the first time round, we wouldn't be in the position we're in now. Although saying that, if Boris Johnson had actually said what I said to do initially, then we wouldn't be in this position. I've been calling it for a long, long time. Anyway, let me read some of these comments. I really appreciate people sending comments to me this morning. So the last one I read was Victoria Gray. Good morning to you. We've got Antonio again. London United Tolworth Bus Garage. I actually went for a job interview in a Tolworth Tower once. There was a job interview for full training for free to become an MCSA, Microsoft Certified Engineer, or something like that, or MCSC or MCSA, and it said free. You just had to go there. As long as you were first come, first serve, and you got in there quick, they would literally give you all the training you need. And I went there, and they then slapped upon me, oh yeah, by the way, you need to pay £3,000. That's false advertising, prick. Arjan says it's the 21st of June, so he corrected me there. I do apologise. Thank you very much. Kieran Gallagher says the same. I probably was wrong on that. I said the 12th. It's more than likely the 21st of June, so thank you for correcting that. Antonio says the 57 was a good route, but the garage lost the route to another bus company. I did not know that. I did not know that. I've been distancing myself from buses lately because I know that at the end of this month, hopefully, I can get back to work. And before I get back to work, buses are the last thing on my mind. So Sam Stevens says last Saturday, the area I work in seemed to be packed, which is concerning, and it is concerning. I took the dog for a long walk the other day. I went up to Crystal Palace, down the parade, down Annerley, down to the Aldi. I then turned left and walked through Penge. And the only shops that are supposed to be open are supermarkets, convenience stores, shops that sell food, and pharmacies. And yet the whole place was packed. Packed. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't have thought there was a lockdown. It's just you'd think it was normal. RATP went on strike over this weekend. Yeah, do you know what? I'm with RATP on the strike action. I will talk about buses quickly. I think shocking pay deals over the last 2 years have been a big cause for concern. But specifically, what's been happening very recently is garages, including the garage I work for, have offered incredibly poor pay offers. And unfortunately, a lot of garages, including my garage, have accepted it. It's not something I would have accepted. I couldn't vote because there was no postal ballot and I was shilled in, so I never went down there to cast my vote. Although my one vote wouldn't have made a difference, but it's shocking. And another thing coming about pay, bus drivers always get over 1%. Majority of the time. I just want to quickly talk about nurses and the NHS. I think that the proposed pay deal is disgusting, 1%. I think that the Matt Hancock? I give up with who they are now. Basically, all of them, Boris Johnson, the lot, I think should hang their heads in shame. I think the NHS deserve at least a 10% pay increase minimum, and that goes through doctors, nurses, even the cleaners and the catering staff. Everyone that works within the NHS deserves at least a minimum 10% pay increase. And another thing I want to see happening, which no one ever talks about, are the amazing volunteers within London, not just with NHS hospitals in general. Volunteers are fantastic. There at least should be some kind of goodwill gesture or something for them, because they go out of their way literally for free to help out in these places, and I think that's something that should not go unseen. Or that so let me sort this chair out. So it does get on my nerves, the amount of backstabbing that goes on within government, and when it comes to the NHS. I think the NHS are worth a damn sight more than 1%. And I think that if this isn't sorted out very, very soon, then it's going to cost the government a lot more, because nurses are going to leave to do different jobs, or they'll leave then come back as agency staff. At what point agency staff they earn more because the agency charges more than just the standard wage of a nurse or doctor. So there's something to think about there. Let me read some more of these. There was a market open on Saturday too, which I didn't know was a thing. Yeah, this is what I don't understand. I mean, there's a Sunday market, a new Sunday market, which started in November last year in the park in Palace. I talk about Palace a lot. It's pretty much the only area I go to, Crystal Palace Park. But there is a market there on a Sunday, and it gets to a point where I feel uncomfortable even mentioning going over the park on a Sunday, because the amount of people over there is absolutely colossal. No one wears a mask. No one keeps their dog on a lead, which is what needs to be done over there. It's in writing everywhere across the park. And there's just no common sense over there, which it drives me absolutely bonkers. Let me have a sip of my coffee. Oh, that's strong. Oh, coffee is black as my soul. So let's have a look. French company, quite possibly a French market. I don't know if you're talking about that. Transport Hub says loads of school extras out. Operators, including buses on routes they didn't run, such as Arriva, put in ENX on route 444. Yeah, so this is what's happening in a lot of bus garages. There are routes which are alternating standard service, school service, standard service, school service. And there should be a sign on the inside of that bus which says school bus or non-school bus or what have you. And the problem that a lot of my colleagues across London were having was the school service was specifically for school children. However, you can't say no to picking up a average Joe, which negates the reason really for having a school bus. Also, a lot of buses were getting overcrowded first time round, and I'm really hoping this isn't going to be the case, and there should be restrictions on public transport still. I don't want there to be any easing on public transport at this moment in time. There still should be boarding at the front only, and obviously exit where the exit doors are, and there should only be a maximum capacity of whatever the maximum capacity for said buses. It's different for every bus. But these restrictions need to be in place, and drivers should not be penalised for enforcing this. It's not just for the driver's safety, even though the drivers are sealed in, it's for passenger safety as well. So this is something that does need to be addressed. Excuse me. Sergeant Major Patrick Harper says, yeah, as soon as little freedom is given, people abuse it, which is true. That is the only fear I have, because it risks the whole thing collapsing before we get too far into removing restrictions. Bang on the money there. And I've been saying this for a very, very long time. In fact, I've also said that we'll be back in some kind of lockdown by the end of July. Or restrictions will be carrying on through July, tough restrictions up until the end of September. Thank you, Richie Sunak. But it's almost like they know what's going to happen, and yet they still encourage people to be stupid. Honestly, it's just, I am a firm believer, if this was dealt with the first time, we wouldn't be in this situation. We should have had checkpoints in towns and city centres, say between Penge and Beckenham, Penge and Crystal Palace, South Norwood, Sydenham. There should be at least one checkpoint in every town stopping people from driving, saying, look, where are you going? If it's non-essential, go home. But then again, people start moaning, saying, oh, you're taking away our freedoms. It's draconian. Oh, how am I supposed to enjoy eating my hummus now? Oh. Sorry, that's really, really, really bad. Really bad. But there we go. It's just silly things that just annoy me. You know, it's this whole woke culture, thinking they know everything and believe every single conspiracy going when it comes to COVID, and then have the audacity to call people like me a sheep. It drives me mad. COVID's such a conspiracy. It's such a lie, man. It's all there to control the masses. Really? Oh, yeah, it's also controlled by 5G. Okay, you tell that to the hundreds of thousands of people that have died from COVID-19 in countries that don't even have 4G. Hey, explain that to me. Yes, explain to me why any single government would want to have complete total control through death. It doesn't happen that way. It's a lie. And you've all sunk, you that believe that, just find a cliff and go and peer over the edge, but not too close. But if it takes you, just, you know. So 363 Metro Bus says, hello, Chris. Hello, 353 Metro Bus. Just how I like my coffee, says Sergeant Major Patrick Harper. What, as black as my soul? Oh, that's good. I think schools should be more lenient on starting times for kids, because a lot of them won't be able to get on the bus. This is very, very true. I do believe that. However, this is also what I believe. Schools should also be providing more school buses in this time. So I don't know how they could do it. They could do it by year. They could do it by class. They could literally go around a set route for a specific class, pick up every kid in that class, bring them to school. There could be multiple buses doing that. I think that's a good idea, although that could be quite expensive. Victoria Gray says, I found with the school buses that some buses have not got the correct school service displayed, which means, pardon me, you have no clue which is which. That might be because they lack the amount of signs, or the driver just hasn't put it at the front. I'd prefer it to be the former than the latter. There we go. Very true. Sometimes I have to use VLF to see which ones are the extras. Most drivers don't think about safety, overload more passengers. Yeah, I know. This is I can't actually say that because a lot of my colleagues are very, very safety conscious. I have to give them that. Equally, there are a minority of my colleagues across the bus network who genuinely don't care because they just don't care, which I think is very selfish. But obviously, that's a very small minority. A lot of bus drivers actually do care about the health and safety of their passengers because without passengers, it's not our bread and butter, is it? If that makes sense. Hope you're doing well, says Ashwath. I'm very well, thank you. I've actually put on a stone in weight over this lockdown. A whole stone, 14 pounds of weight I've put on. Um, I'm not very happy about it, but I am happy that I've got my Real Talk hoodie that my dearly beloved made for me. Um, so that's good. Do me a favour though, everyone, if you haven't yet, I did put a community post up on YouTube yesterday or the day before for my other half's Instagram account. So if you wouldn't mind just going dropping her a follow on that and just check out what she does. She's proud of what she does and she's really good at it too. So just take a look. I have to use the bus in Romford town centre, then National Rail and Central Line into college. Wow, that's a lot. I've noticed there's extra buses on my local route from West Ham Garage. Says Kieran Gallagher. The coronavirus will end hopefully at June. No, the coronavirus will not end. Lockdown might end the 21st of June, but we're going to be living with coronavirus for a very, sadly, very long time. And this is what people don't understand. Also, there's people out there, and I just want to throw this out there. And I'm not going to name drop, but I could, but I'm not going to. There's people out there with the tinfoil conspiracy hats on who seem to think that COVID-19 is racist. It's not. It gets everybody. It's not racist. Okay. If you're black, brown, yellow, white, it doesn't matter. It can get you. Okay. COVID isn't racist. I just thought I'd throw this out there. So there you go. It's a virus. It doesn't target specifically. It doesn't go, "Ooh, I'm a virus. Oh, look, there's an African man over there. Let's go get him." No, it doesn't do that. It's a virus. So just be careful. Social distance. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Be sensible. Okay? It's a virus. It's not Adolf Hitler. It's a virus. It's just as evil. It's just as nasty, but a virus isn't racist. Okay? Let's have a look. The thing that annoyed me the other day was when 3 COVID support officers hanging about a bin socialising. Not that they can do much, but it only takes one of them to pass it to the others. Yes, it's very true. What's a new one? COVID-19. Yeah, no, you might not have heard that. I've heard that a few times. I have heard it a few times, and it gets some. It just gets on my nerves. Anyway, moving swiftly on from COVID-19. Although COVID-19 is still going to be in whatever I talk about in some kind of way, but we're going to move away from schools. We're going to move on to Amazon. Amazon. We've all done it. We've all been at home and we've thought, I need something. I can't go out and buy it. What's the first thing we do is we pick up our phone and we go to either eBay or Amazon. I'm guilty of this. Not so much on eBay, although I have got something coming today from eBay. But Amazon. Amazon's a lifesaver when it comes to needing certain things, especially if you have Amazon Prime. It's a very good service. You get Prime Video, you get Prime Music, I think. You get free next day delivery. It's good value for money, especially if you buy a lot from Amazon and you don't want to keep paying £1 per postage or £5 a postage, blah blah blah. Your postage is free. So on that, I can't knock Amazon Amazon Prime is fantastic. The reason why I'm annoyed with Amazon now is because we have left on our accounts, my account and my wife's account, do not leave packages in front of the door. There is no safe place to leave a package. Knock, wait, hand it to us. Okay? I don't go anywhere. I'm in all the time. There's always someone here currently. There's no excuse for not handing me the parcel, or at least wait. If you put it in front of the door, wait until I open it so that you know I've got it. Yeah, it's not difficult. However, for months and months and months, whenever we order stuff from Amazon, the couriers, drivers, whatever you want to call them, they don't knock on the door. They leave stuff outside my front door. It's not a secure block. Things go walkies. Seriously. The amount of times I've had a notification on my phone saying this item's been delivered successfully or handed to customer, whatever. It wasn't handed to me. It was more than likely either not delivered or left outside my front door, at what point someone's walked straight into my block because the security door doesn't work and they've had it because it's easy pickings. Yeah, it's annoying. So yesterday when the door goes, been great, not a problem. They've actually used the knocker. They haven't gone tap, tap, tap. There's someone at the door. There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. So he used the knocker. Not a problem. My other half goes to the door, opens it up, and the driver was literally halfway down the stairs. Didn't even wait for her to open the door, just to make sure there's someone in. Anyone could have had that if we weren't in. Anyone. So she said to him, if I hadn't opened the door, would you have still walked off? And at that point he went, what? Very aggressive, very nasty, threatening behaviour. So obviously I've heard what's gone on. I've come to the front door and he's legged it downstairs and he's got into his van. I've looked out the stairwell window and he's done that to me. Now, that isn't good behaviour, is it? Because I can guarantee the next time that man comes to my house and I see him approaching my block and I know he's got something that belongs to me, before he has a chance to knock on my door, I'm going to smash the granny out of him. No one does that to my family. No one does that to my family. So there we go. So driver, I have reported you, but just notice when I open that front door, you so much as look at me the wrong way, I'll put you in hospital. Okay? So, but should we have to deal with bad customer service like that? And the thing is, no, we shouldn't. And you report it and you report it and you report it to Amazon and they don't ever, ever, ever do anything about it. Ever. Ever. And no one should put up with bad customer service, whether it's from Amazon, whether it's from anywhere you buy something from, really. You know, we pay for a service. We should get a service from looking at the listing to a professional customer-based delivery. Just because you deliver a parcel, you don't actually work for Amazon. You could just be a courier. It makes no difference. You are representing that company. And you will be found out and you can get the sack for stuff like that. You know, it's not, is it really worth losing your job over just waiting for someone to open the front door? Is it really worth losing your job for giving someone an immense amount of attitude and being threatening towards a woman or anyone in that matter? No. So, you know, when I open that door to you, and I wish I knew what your name was, you look at me, just so much as open your mouth towards me, I'm going to lay you out. Simple. Let me read some more of these comments. Amazon gave me the wrong item, says Transport Productions. Yes, I highly hate when they knock on the door and bugger off. This is very true. Package clearly visible from the road. The thing is that they can do hard. Excuse me, got a bit of COVID brain still. The thing is that what they do can hardly be considered a knock. It's very true. I have just been downright lucky. Yeah, I mean, I know people that have ordered PlayStations from certain and Xboxes from certain retailers, and the courier has literally left it in a wheelie bin. In a wheelie bin. So I do apologise for any other noise that's happening. The arseholes upstairs are having some work done, and it's been 3 weeks non-stop banging and drilling every day, which is annoying. It does get annoying. I might have to set up a stakeout on you, Chris. I need to be there the moment he turns up. Yeah, that would be quite funny for you to watch, I suppose. What the hell is this? Can you hear that? Can you hear that banging? It's absolutely ridiculous. Transport Hub says they say they will make a note, but they never do. Oh, they do. They put it on the system. They just don't do anything about it. That's the difference. What Southern Transport says, hashtag F Roblox. If a postman disrespected me like that, I'd throw him or her in the van. Yeah, why F Roblox? I don't let my kids play that for a few reasons. But why F Roblox? Hashtag F Roblox. Don't know. Morning, Chris says Sarah's random videos. Good morning, Sarah. Hope you're well. Sam Stevens says, I don't understand why people have to be rude all the time. It's not hard to be nice. That's very true. I've always said it's nice to be nice. Being nice is the easiest thing in the world. It uses so much less energy than being negative and horrible. Being nice, it literally makes you feel happy, making other people feel happy. Just by doing this, it creates chemicals in the brain, which makes you feel happy. So there we go. I have ordered online. Delivery instructions are always ignored. And why is this? Why do people do this? I don't understand. Bad customer service. I would have hoped that by now, bad customer service would have been a thing of the past. You know, I've always said that when I'm driving my bus, even though I am just the driver, and I'm driving up and down all day long, my passengers are my customers. They are. You are. You passengers are my customers. And if I can give you a happy, smooth ride, or even if it comes down to just nodding or saying good morning, saying good afternoon, good evening, saying hello, or anything, it makes a difference. I mean, granted, it is nice to have someone say thank you to me. You're welcome. Good morning. Not a problem. Customer service. It even comes down to how you drive the bus. Now, I've always driven a bus as if my dear old nan was sitting at the back trying to pour a cup of tea. I've always driven extremely smooth. You know, there's a lot of my colleagues drive exactly that way. But even from the moment you greet someone getting on your bus to the moment they get off your bus, you're providing a customer service as a bus driver, and we all try and do the best we can. I know this, you know this, and I genuinely can't wait to get back to work, not just to drive the bus, but so I can have a change of pace from here. I can get a bit of normality back. I do miss my passengers on my route. I mean, there's regular passengers, people I would see on a daily basis, excuse me. And even though they probably would never ever recognize me, ever, I would always think to myself, there's the old lady with the with her trolley at 9:30 in the morning. She's I know she's going to be there at that specific time. I know that I will always get that little bit closer to the curb for her, and I'll lower the bus before opening the doors. I know that when she gets on, she takes her time. That's not a problem. I can wait. I know that when she sits down, she will always put her hand up and say, "Thank you, driver." "You're welcome, madam." Not a problem. I know she's going to go maybe 6 or 7 stops to Morrison's. At what point I'm going to get that little bit closer to the curb. I'm going to lower the suspension so she can get off. For me, that's not going the extra mile. That is literally doing my job correctly. That's customer service. It doesn't take much. You know, it's just so frustrating when people neglect the importance of what they do for a living. They become, just so I've lost my word, complacent with their jobs. Is they get to a point where they're like, yeah, I'll just turn up for the money. I go through the motions, and I go home again. I don't really care about anyone else, and that's not really the best thing to do, is it? Always try and give the best you can, because the more you give, the better you feel about it. If you can end the day at whatever job you do, knowing that you did your absolute best that day, you'll feel more rewarded for it. Whether you get rewarded for it is another matter. I mean, just look at the NHS. They're getting absolutely shafted, but they do their job with a passion. And I fear that they're going to end up leaving. We're going to have no NHS specifically because of this 1% pay increase. And it is heartbreaking. Rishi Sunak literally could have gone to the Treasury and said, look, I know we're in debt. I know we've spent billions and billions of pounds on the COVID crisis. I know we've spent billions of pounds on furlough, on grants and this, that and the other. I know we've spent a lot of money. However, we wouldn't be where we are now if it wasn't for the absolute amazing, outstanding, tireless work 24 hours a day from our NHS. They deserve more. They deserve better. They are the epitome of great customer service. And they deserve a minimum of 10%. Rishi Sunak could have said, you know what, it's nothing to do with me. I don't run the NHS. I'm not in charge of the NHS's budget per se. However, I have set aside an amount of money which would equate to at least 10% across the board for NHS staff. From cleaners to doctors, nurses, absolutely everyone. He could have done that. If I'm wrong and he couldn't have done that, please let me know. But 1% I think is an absolute insult. And I really do think that everyone who backs this 1% should hang your head in shame. Absolutely hang your head in shame. That's not right. It's not right to neglect the people that literally keep us from dying on a daily basis, is it? That's not fair. That's not correct. That's not even British. It's disgusting. Anyway, let me read some more of these comments before I go, because I want to get my eldest boy in here to do the rest of his school day so I can keep an eye on him. I think he needs a change of scenery. He's been hermiting in his bedroom Monday to Friday. I want him in here. Let's have a look. You're right, Sarah. You're always happy, makes me happy. Sarah is naturally a happy person. I've noticed this even on the comments. Let's have a look. 456 starts on Saturday, replacing the W10. Did not know that. Once a rude Bromley driver didn't let me on a school service just because I didn't go to the school where the route terminates. They're not allowed to do that. You should have reported that driver. Absolutely report that driver. They can't refuse you travel just because you're going a different route to your school. That is absolutely disgusting. I always say morning to customers in Iceland, and being there for 4 months now, I've started to get to know the people that come in each week at the same time. And this is the thing. We tend to know our customers. You see, I mean, I've been doing my job this would be my 11th year, but for the last year, I've not been working at all. But 10 years driving, and driving the same route, I get to see the same people. I've seen 2 generations of school kids go from year 7 up to year 11. I've seen that happen twice, and I see the same kids, all fresh-faced and, I'm so scared it's year 7, become horrible, smelly, grotty, rude, loudmouth teenagers in year 11. I've seen that happen from year 7 up to year 11. I've seen that happen twice. And they have no idea that the driver's there. But as I drive the same route every day, I see the same kids at the same time every day. I've literally watched other people's kids grow up. It's weird. It really is. It really is. But the thing is, you still have to maintain that customer service. You see, to keeping the bus on time, keeping to the speed limit, progressive braking, getting nice to the close to the curb, lowering the bus when you have to, even if it's just a nod, good morning, good afternoon, thank you, you're welcome. Just be nice. Customer service it's not about training to have good customer service. Good customer service is a personal thing. If you're a genuinely nice person, you are going to come across as someone who cares about their job. And if you care about your job, then it makes everything so much easier, so much simpler and better for everybody, including yourself. And there we go. 1% is taking the mick. Yeah, 1% is taking the mick. I don't agree with it at all. Thing is, NHS should have had a decent pay rise before the pandemic. Now they look stupid because they are struggling. I wouldn't say they look stupid. I think the government looks stupid because they're struggling. And yes, the NHS should have had a pay rise before the pandemic, but they should have at least a 10% now. 10% now, not necessarily backdated, but if it was, minimal amount of tax taken off that. I think it's absolutely disgusting. £3.50 a week. Ooh, you can buy your kid a Happy Meal. £3.50. Got to go now. Have a good day, Chris. Go and have a good day yourself. I demand it. You have a good day yourself. So anyway, look, I am going to go myself. I've got a lot to do today, and I wish everyone has an absolutely fantastic Monday morning. If you are going to school, college, uni, wherever you're going, get there safely. Follow the rules while you're there. Try not to get disheartened if there's stuff you haven't caught up on just yet. No one's going to blame you. You've had a hard time doing everything at home. Okay, so take it in your stride. You will get there. You have the power to shape your own future. Don't let anyone bully you into thinking that you haven't done enough. You've done exactly what you needed to when you needed to do it, and it's been difficult for you. Okay? For everyone else that are grown-ups having an absolutely crapper of a Monday, just remember, the day is only as good as you make it. Smile, the world will smile with you. And with that, I wish everyone has an absolutely fantastic day, a fantastic week. See you later. Love you lots. Mwah.